At Rockefeller Center, where all of the buildings look very much the same, why is that building different? So that's a holdout building. That is an old building that refused to sell when a bigger, newer real estate development wanted to move in. So there are a number of holdout buildings in New York City, but what makes this case so special is that in this case, the big guy wanting to move in was the biggest guy, J.D. Rockefeller. He was an oil baron. He was America's first billionaire. At one point, he owned 2% of the nation's economy. Now, it was J.D. Jr. who was bankrolling this project, but he was also incredibly rich, and he could be incredibly vicious. Today, he's largely remembered for his vast philanthropic works, but he's guilty of countless workers' rights violations and is largely believed to have orchestrated the Ludlow Massacre, an attack on coal workers and their families, striking for safe working conditions. It saw the death of over 20 people, and several days of violent unrest followed. So Rockefeller was not the kind of big guy most little guys could stand up to. But this little guy was an Irish pub called Hurley's, run by the Hurley brothers and their bartender friend Patrick Daly. They had been there since the 1890s. They survived Prohibition, when the sale of alcohol was illegal, by converting their storefront into a flower shop, but continuing to operate as a speakeasy or an illegal bar if you knew about the secret entrance on the side. So they were not ready to move for law, for money, or Rockefeller. Not even during the Great Depression. Oh, did I mention, this is during the Great Depression, 1930s. So most people are very poor. And Rockefeller is literally the richest. So when he was coming around this area, most people were quite happy to sell, grateful to have the money. But not Hurley's. They did play along. They said, sure, buddy, we'll negotiate with you. Sit down, let's have a talk. But then they proposed a price so exorbitant, even the richest man in America was like, okay, fine, I'll just build around your little bar. And that decision really paid off, at least for Hurley's patrons. Hurley's became a favorite for the people that worked at Rockefeller Center and Radio City Music Hall. Broadcasters, publishers, artists, singers, dancers, musicians, celebrities of all kinds. NBC Studios loved Hurley so much, they nicknamed it Studio 1H. But in the 1970s, their long-term lease finally expired. A rent increase forced them to close their doors. They briefly reopened under new management, but then closed for good by 2000. It's been a couple different businesses since. Today, when you look at the building, you can see that storefront is a Magnolia Bakery. Delicious, nothing suspicious about that, just wonderful banana pudding. But they do still operate a bar from that building. Just like speakeasy days, you can't see it from the front. You got to know about the secret entrance on the side. Now, the bar is not called Hurley's, but it was named in honor of Hurley's. The famous writer and patron of Hurley's, Jack Kerouac, once described that building as the pebble in the shoe of the very tall man that is the 30 Rockefeller building next door. So the bar is called The Pebble. It serves delicious seafood and delightful cocktails in Hurley's honor. But no matter what's in that building, it still stands as a monument to the little guy and evidence that even the richest Goliath cannot always just buy whatever he wants. And I say, cheers to that.